setting. I don't know. I don't live here. So yeah, I'm just getting some timers and stuff ready because why not? Also, I started working on a vlog for this read through, and so yeah, that's also happening. Not right now because reading comes first. Like reading, I've got to get all the reading done this week, or at least that's the schedule I have myself on because Dobby, because I hate it when he does that. His feet are wet and he just stepped on my paper. It's fine. No. It's probably just toilet water. Where was I? Yes. So I've tried to get all the reading done this week so that I can really with the wet feet. Please don't do that. So that I can. No. I read somewhere that you're supposed to just like keep ignoring them and just putting them down because otherwise they're like, oh, I get attention when I do this thing. And yet he does get a lot of attention that way. But also at the same time, I'm like, sometimes I don't mind, but sometimes I'm actually doing something and I'm like, I need to turn off. Today is one of those days. I was saying something and then my cat jumped up here and no. I can see the wheels turning in your head and the answer is no. Yeah, something about writing, editing, and reading, all those things, you know. So I'm just going to pull up a timer. We are looking for a timer. So where do we go? Glory, because Glory has an amazing playlist full of timers. No. So I put my finger out and I was telling him no, and then he just like squinted up at my finger and then booped it with his nose. You know, I still exist on both sides of me. Please do not. Okay, or do. You're very cute. Not see, ignoring him lasted exactly like 0.25 seconds. You can lay on my lap as long as you don't need any electronics. Okay. Oh, his boat is real low. What are you doing? So my cat is weird because he only drinks, like, it depends on the day, but a lot of times he'll drink out of his bowl or whatever, or the dog's bowl, or sometimes the toilet, yes. I'm not going to lie. And no, you can't have no markers. And so then he'll like dip his paw into whatever he's drinking out of, and then he'll lick off of his paw instead of like just drinking out of the dish. And I don't know why he does that. Anyhow, on to the sprinting. I think I'm gonna, because it's early. Well, yeah. I will just do a 15-minute timer. And I'm really excited because someone showed me how to turn sound on the other day. And nothing has been the same since then. All right. We are just about ready. Share audio because that is important. And we will go ahead and get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that is the end of sprint 1. So, I got a good bit done this time. I have about 2/3 of a page complete. I also got up and got a couple things settled around me just to make it easier, and then posted on Instagram. Been sprinting, and also on my Facebook page. So I did that and then started reading. And I'm also reading this book. Let me see, I've got it on my phone here. It was recommended to me by Charlie Dorset. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak this morning. So I started reading it right away, and it's been very helpful. It is called Writing Deep Point of View by Rain Hall. So they have it on Audible, and I got it on Audible, and they put a big banner over her name, so it's really hard to see. Yeah, Rain Hall, and it's spelled Rayne. But it talks about sentence structure in one place. I'm sorry, my cat's digging in his litter box, and it's like right over there, so I hope it's not too loud. But yeah, it talks about writing different POVs and like how you make the decision about what POV you want to use, and once you've made that decision, what kind of things to look for in your manuscript, or like different exercises where you can go back and just write something and it'll give you prompts, and it'll give you the option to like actually use something that you're working on, or you can use a prompt to practice what they're talking about. And it's been really helpful. And so there's a couple spots where I'm like making notes and like, is this what they were talking about? So I can go back and listen to that section in the book again and then see, is this spot a good place to practice this specific technique for that POV? That is the POV I decided to use for this book, third person deep POV. So this is my first, I guess I've attempted to use that voice before, but it's not something that I've been necessarily very good at. So, but it struck me as something that I really needed to and wanted to learn for this book. So, this is actually the first, so this is a rewrite of the first book that I ever wrote. Eva, hi, good morning. How are you? I don't know, I was saying good morning, and then I was going to type good morning at the same time. My brain is so not even with it today. Yes, I am sprinting, and I am working on the current work in progress and doing the read through. So that is why I'm sprinting this morning, and I'm trying to get my 5 chapters done before brunch, which is part of the earliness. The other part of the earliness is sleep deprivation. So we are doing it. We just finished sprint 1, and there we go. You know, I did some of these like before, and then I changed the way. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yay. I'm just having a really hard time doing the English. I know. I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know if anyone's actually going to be on this early in the morning, but then I was like, I'm just going to do it, because it got to the point last night where I almost started sprinting at 5 because I could not sleep. And I set an alarm on my watch. It's like a real gentle, like just buzz. And I was like, if I'm still awake when this goes off, then that's it. I'm just going to get up and start sprinting and working, because I'm just going to stress myself out trying to fall asleep when I can't sleep. Yeah, I don't think anybody is probably very much awake this early. I mean, it's Sunday, it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, I think. And so a lot of people are just not going to be about this life, but you know, my dog and my cat decided not to make me breakfast in bed. Speaking of little devil, it's so nice that you just came out of your litter box and jumped up on my desk. It's really sweet of you. But I have coffee. I have an entire pot of coffee, and I get to drink it all by myself because no coffee for cats and doggos. Yes. Forgot it was Mom's Day till Mr. told me. Then the kids say, "How about it's?" Oh, that's funny. No, this is your day. You get to do what you want with it. So, what are you doing for Mother's Day? I would love to hear that. The cat and the doggo have just been like bumming around, except for the cat's like, "Hey, I want to get involved in what you're doing. You cannot have coffee, sir." He really does, doesn't he? He's like, I don't know. I don't know where he went. So the thing is, there's two chairs behind me, and I like the office is really not big enough for the two chairs. But I was like, let me just bring them in here because then the cat will have a place that he can be comfortable while I'm working on stuff. And he was like, no, I don't think so. I thought, oh, you were talking about sorry. You were talking about your kid. JK. But also, yes, the cat too. You were gifted some, oh, I love fairy gardens. Do you have pictures of your fairy garden on Instagram? Because I love fairy gardens. Yes, you should be getting your way. Oh, I love that. Leaving in the morning. That is nice. That's so nice. I like that. And I absolutely love fairy gardens. So I'm happy for you. That sounds great. Any big food? I'm all about the food. So do you have any big food plans? Because food plans. I've just been editing. I think I drank water this morning, and I'm proud of that. Got an Airbnb with. Oh, that is awesome. That's so good. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, so cool. I haven't been to Kansas in such a long time. I think like when I was little, and I don't remember it very clearly. But that is cool. I didn't realize they had Legoland there. So my brother and I were obsessed with Legos when we were little. And he still like it's the collectible ones that you can put together and just like keep them put together. He still does that. So that's really cool. Well, yay. I think we'll get into another sprint. Maybe do another 15-minute one because it is early. And I don't know, I don't feel like doing the long stuff, you know? What do you think? Yeah, yes, that is real. So I believe it's the Chinese rocket is returning, and they don't know exactly where it's going to fall. Like it's uncontrolled. And last I heard, it was over the Indian Ocean. It's over what I read last night, it was over the Indian Ocean, and it was expected to make landfall yesterday, but I feel like that was pretty late last night when I saw yay. So let's do 15 minutes. I'm going to grab another timer from Glory's. I want one with sound though. Sometimes they have sound, sometimes they don't. And now that I finally figured out how to use the sound correctly, I'm like all excited about it. Let me see. Ew, I haven't used this one before. I don't know if this has sound. It's a nighttime theme, but it's also early in the morning, so I feel like it's allowable. I think that'll be fine. If it wants to load. Yay. Okay, cool beans. So we are ready, and it will be that's not gonna happen. No. I mean, if it did happen, I would write your story specifically because you asked, but that is not going to happen. Never fear. All right, we're starting sprint number 2. Share the screen. Share audio. Sharing is caring. There we go. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yay! Still here. Yay! So I got one chapter done. It was a short chapter, but I already am looking at it and I'm like, what were you doing? Because there's clearly a line where either I copy and pasted a section and moved it, or like I wrote something and then I was like, oh, this needs to go first. And I went back and I put in a whole bunch of stuff and left that one line and then kept writing after it. And it's like, what? It literally makes zero sense. So this is why we read through. So I made a note of that. I also have a question, and this is also from what I was working on. Let's see. Yeah. It's early. It is early. That counts for something. Also, you're up, so it like whether or not things turn out the way that you hope they do, like you're up, so you automatically get points. Automatically. So I have this question, and this is from what I'm working on, and I'm gonna put it up here. Can ghosts lie? In your opinion, from the lore and the worlds that you've read or created, do you think that ghosts can lie? Do you think it makes sense for them to be able to lie? And I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Because there's one part, this could be an error in the storyline and everything like that, so I'm going to look at it from both perspectives. But I also was thinking, would it be interesting if this character actually is intentionally misleading the main character? I thought that would be interesting. I think they can lie. I'm not sure they would. Does their humanity stay with them in any other ways? That's a good question. I think so. I think so. I think I would really have to closely examine what their motives are and why they think it's important or feel it's important. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Would this line up with their agenda, or would it just be like some petty, mortal, corporeal kind of lie? Because they would have no reason to lie about something like that. Like that, they can't really be impacted. Like I can think of like if it was a way to unmake them and they didn't want to be unmade, then that would be a good reason to lie or just not to answer. But it's also like they don't have to answer because they are a ghost. So unless there's a specific spell or something like that in place to make them tell a truth or the truth, and even then, it's still the whole Rumpelstiltskin thing. I think it's Rumpelstiltskin where like you have to be specific about what it is that you're saying because sometimes you say something and it's like that's not exactly what I meant, but they give you a very specific answer. So like this is what you asked. It's not necessarily what you meant. They could mock the truth as a component of their identity. This is true. Perhaps the moral compass of humanity is a joke to the ghost. It's not needed once you're dead, right? I would agree with that. It could be that, but that's like maybe like I feel like that's almost like a Loki vibe. It could be, is lying even wrong? Right. I agree with that because if it's a ghost, well, first of all, even if we're all still on the mortal playing field, that we often lie to protect people's feelings or because it's just not kind to be honest, or like even if someone asks us a question, we understand their meaning And so we don't give them the honest first thought that pops into our mind because it's not kind or helpful. And so maybe it removes that layer of filter of like, oh, that's not kind or helpful either. So like it could go either way, but then when you bring their motive into it, it's like, this is what I want. And if I tell you this, then you're not going to do the thing that I'm not physically able to do because I don't have a body anymore. It's interesting. Ghosts would see things much differently. I'd imagine they'd live and I'd imagine they've lived and died. Yes, that is true. Outside of this project, I have another character that is a ghost. Beetlejuice, yeah, so true. I have another character that is a ghost, and as I was writing them, I realized that they omit the truth a lot of the time because in the scale of their long existence, some things just stop mattering. So they don't even think to include it. But in this world, ghosts operate a bit differently, so I have to think a bit more about what that means. Yeah. Is he not a ghost? I didn't realize that. I always thought he was a ghost. I've only seen Beetlejuice once though, and it was a while ago, and I was kind of, yeah. Oh, no worries. I hope everything's okay. No stress on Mom's day. Yeah. So I think that I'll have to watch Beetlejuice again because I was just talking about it the other day. Someone was playing that song that they sing at the dinner table, and I was like, okay, now I need to watch Beetlejuice. But yeah, I definitely need to put some more thought into why are ghosts the way that they are, and am I kind of using this ghost as a deus ex machina because that is not her purpose or my intention. So I need to make sure that I've thought this through. And this chapter, it's a short chapter, but it definitely brought up a lot of that. So yeah, that happened. I think I'm going to do another sprint. And I think for editing purposes, I'm liking the shorter sprints. So I think I'll probably keep it at the 15 minutes. Unless there are any objections. I feel like that works really well for me for read-throughs and editing. So, but if anyone on the live wants to request a longer or different time, you can definitely drop that in the chat and we can do that for the next one. So I will go ahead and get a timer ready for sprint 3. JK, it is already ready. Ooh, I love it when that just works out naturally in my favor, especially as much as I struggle with technology. Share screen. Okie-doke. Starting in 5, 4. Wait, did I? Nope. I don't think I hit share sound. I always do that. Let's try that one more time. Share screen. Beans, Chrome tab. I did not. Ooh, my bad. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. did it. So this time I got 2.5 pages. No, I got 2 pages done. 2 full pages. So I think this went well. I have more questions about this, partially because there's a dream sequence, and you know how tricky those are. And then within the dream sequence, she's reading something that she would not otherwise have knowledge of. And I have thoughts about that. I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. She needs the information, and I'm not sure how else she would get the information, but I don't know if I like the way that she gets the information, if that makes sense. So I have another question, and this is just kind of a fun, silly one, because I feel like this happens all the time. At least to me it does. Where I put in like XXX in all caps when I don't have a name and I don't want it to hang me up yet. And so I've been stumbling across it, but I've also realized that I've used the same 3 X's for multiple characters. So that's a little confusing. Probably should have thought of that. And that's one of my to-dos, is to go back and make sure that I've actually updated all of those. And yeah, so there we are. Also, it seems like it takes me about 7 minutes to do 2 pages, so that's pretty good. I warmed up my coffee at some point in time. I don't remember if I did that last sprint or this sprint, but anyway, my coffee is still yay. And of course, this is what we love to see. So I also had to go get my dog a blanket because she was like, I want to come in here with you, but I don't have anywhere comfortable to be. And the cat pretty much runs the roost, so there's no space. Like she couldn't get on the chair because the cat would absolutely have a fit. Because they're his chairs. He likes the high ground. What are you gonna do? So yeah, that is my question. I think I'm going to have to mix that up. And I need to, maybe I should like make a key or something so that I can put like, okay, you know, this is a 3 X's is character 1, and here is like some identifying feature, and you know, so on, and then do like X, Y, Z, go back to the alphabet, who knows. But just so that when I get to this point, if I haven't named them yet, it makes more sense. But I also have a thing that I started doing where I put my notes in like that. Now, these do not look like different colors, but this is actually pink and that's purple, and these are both pink. But that's how I started putting in my notes, because before I would just highlight a section and write notes off to the right-hand side. But then, especially if I'm writing a lot of notes, it can be tricky to determine what exactly I was writing notes about. So I started to put a little dash of color, and then I can match up the highlighted section to the note with the highlighted section on the side panel, and it'll make figuring all this out easier. So this is my second time using this method, and I'm still making some improvements, but I think I should probably make a Bible for like what my annotations mean. Sarah is your placeholder name. I like it. Most of the time. Yeah. I like it. I'm realizing I have some particular names that I've used. You're back. I have some particular names that I've used for male characters, and then I started to realize that it wasn't they were the same names, but that they started with the same letter. So then I would look at it and be like, why do I have Howard, Hubert, and Henry? And yeah, and that is also not a good look. And then the other problem with that is, even if you do mix them up, it's so hard to sort it out because they all start with the same letter. Versus if I have a Howard and I accidentally call him Henry one time, I'm like, oh, well, they both start with H. I must have meant Howard, not Henry. But if you have all three, Howard, Herbert, and Henry, in a story, and then you start scrambling them around, extra confusion ensues. So, you have a brother named Howard? Oh, that's so cool. I like that name. It's a good name. Yeah, you really don't. You really don't. So it's funny because my desk plant at work was named Henry, and then I started meeting a bunch of people who have plants named Henry, who would have known that's a category, and 2 actual people named Henry. And then it's just like, oh, that's what my money tree is named. So I feel like also once you like get into less common names, when you do find people who have like the same name, it becomes like you become a club automatically. Like there's an entire group of people named Chandra on Facebook who have just a Facebook page or group for people named Chandra. There's a surprising number of people in there. I always felt kind of like I've met one other Chandra, and it was actually really funny because I was working at a restaurant and I was running a cash register, and I rang somebody up, and of course my name's on my apron, and they read my name and they were like, wait, and they like ran away to like go grab someone from their party, and they were like, you guys have to meet each other. You have to meet each other. And that was how I met the only other Chandra that I've ever met in my life. So I thought that was funny. So I am making good progress. I have wait, hold on a second. How do you pronounce that? Tiana? Did I say that correctly? Before you only lived online. That is such a mood. I realized the other day, because like I had stuff to do, so Diane, Tian. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends, and I was like, Diane Tyan. Is that right? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Yeah, I was talking to a friend, and I was like, I'm not, like, I've got some stuff to get done. And then I jumped on a stream to do work, and then I just didn't finish my work, and it was just not because of the stream, just because I had too much to get done. I like that. Tie-in with Ty for sure. That is cute. I really like that. But I see why Eva is easier for people to figure out, and I'm sure they still mispronounce that as well. And that's how I ended up with the whole Chandra like Jackie Chan thing too, because people would always get confused. And it doesn't really bother me out, like I'll answer to anything, but still there are some people who are like, no, make them learn your name. And I was like, oh, okay. But why? That way if I get into trouble, I can be like, that's not my name. I don't know who you're talking about. Really, I'm just creating an alibi. This is the longest. This is the long con. I just. That's funny. I think that's cute though. I really like that. Yep. Eve is my first name, but I didn't go by it until online education. Just too much to have so many names and pronunciations. Yes, I feel that. I haven't done a ton of online classes. Like all of it was where it was typing, so like discussion boards and stuff like that. Like I took speech online because I didn't want to have to go to campus extra, and also I didn't just like my ideal classes were ones where I didn't have to actually interact with people. So, like I was taking, I took up to Cal 2, and then, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I'm going back. And my plan is to do something with like communications or English, and then go back after that and finish my degree in physics separately and class by class, because it takes a lot of study time, and I also work full time, and then of course I'm writing in my free time, and I found it was so much easier for me to do the homework for all the elective classes, because like a lot of it's writing and researching, and since I already do that in my free time, it's easy. Like when they are like, oh, we need a 1,500 word paper, I'm like, you got it, no problem. Like that's no stress. But if I have a whole calculus homework assignment done, that could take me, especially if you're getting one every single, well, not every single day, but like two classes, you know, 2 classes a week, and you have homework for each one of those classes, and it can be 1 to 2 assignments. That takes a lot of time, and that's homework every single night. And then, not having enough time to get the other stuff done. And like you're still not even done with the calculus homework. That's really stressful. So I was just getting frustrated and overwhelmed with that between work and everything. I was like, this is not working. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, and I feel that. Like when you feel like you're already so behind, like you miss one class and you miss key information, or there's homework that you don't get, and then it just like it totally throws you off balance. Totally messes things up. Yeah, that is also true. I don't know. I've been going to community college, and I was already older than pretty much all of my. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 classmates who were my age, but also I was doing night classes, so I would get off work at like 4:30 and go straight to class, and then I wouldn't get home. It was very frustrating for me because at this point I'm already like a grown folk, and the cafeteria at school was already closed. The cafeteria at my job was closed, and so I would be in a position where I'm packing 2 meals, or trying to pack 2 meals, and then like leaving and with traffic, it was like stupid traffic. So you get there and there's like not enough time to actually eat unless you like go into class, sit down, eat what you can really fast, and then like, yeah, and it would just depend on traffic. And it got really frustrating because they're like, you can't eat or drink in classrooms. I'm like, you have non-traditional students. You have students who are coming for a 5:30 class, and we're going to be here till 7 or later, and you're saying you can't eat here? I feel like you're out of touch. That was probably one of the most frustrating things. I didn't like that. I didn't like it. So yeah, I feel bad though. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And here's the thing, they were like, well, the computers. I'm like, in order for people to ruin these computers, like people work in offices and they have computers and nobody tells them that they can't have coffee next to their computer. In order to actually mess up the computer, you would have to like take your coffee and pour it into the tower. Like if somebody is going to do that, if someone's going to sabotage a computer like that, because the computers were not on the floor, if someone was going to sabotage a computer like that, they would be doing it intentionally and you would have bigger fish to fry. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was so frustrating. It was really frustrating. And I get hangry, so trying to learn while you're starved is totally inefficient. But also for math classes, for me, it was really hard to do those remotely. Like I feel like you miss something not being in class. And then like it did help that there was a few people who were smarter than me that I could study with. And that was my strategy. There was like 4 to 6 of us who always sat on the front row. And then there'd be like one person who would figure it out first. And then we would all just be like, go study with that person to figure out what to do. Yeah. So that's it. That's the only thing I like about, but also the person you're studying with, you may not necessarily ever hang out with them outside of class. So if it's something that you are, pretty good at and you can do at home, then I'm just like, let me just do this at home. But then I also liked my comp professors, like, well, one of them. She was super cool. She was so fun. And I enjoyed taking her class in person. She cracked me up though. That's fair. That's fair. But it can also be really overwhelming. And if you're doing it online, then I can understand that because when you do it in class and you can like start working through a problem in real time, ask questions without like out loud asking so the entire class can hear. You can just like raise your hand, they can come over, you can be like, hey, I think I did this, but and is that right? Like that's a totally different experience than raising your hand online and then having to ask the question in front of the whole class. I would be like, you know what, I'll just fail. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially when you have other things going on in your life and it's like, okay, like prioritizing the classes, deciding like what homework is going to be easiest so I can get it out of the way first so that I'm not. But then if that varies from class to class or day to day, then it gets super complicated and you have to like try to prioritize everything so you get the most important stuff done first. But then you're also managing like when it's due and then what's going to take the most time to actually do. And then if you have any technical problems, because I know with my speech class, I was doing really well up until the midpoint when my computer decided to die and I had to order a new computer and it took a while to get there. And it was fortunate that I'd been really on the ball because when I went to the professor, like when we had our in-class speech, we only had 2. And I was like, hey, I'm sure you noticed that I fell off the face of the earth for a little while. Here's what happened. And she was like, okay, cool. She's like, you're still gonna pass the class, but so like don't worry about that. But also, if I had needed to do extra credit work because I wasn't going to pass, then it would have been important that she see that history. And like sometimes that's just it doesn't work that way. Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of my friends have said that because I have not finished a degree yet, but I was homeschooled for a really long time and it just made things super complicated. So I had to go to community college, and I really enjoyed that. And from what I understand, because at some point in time, my program transfers to university, and they were like, take all the math classes you can at the community college because they have much better help there than they do at the university, where like you're pretty much expected to like already know all of this stuff. So learn it here because that's going to make it easier. But also, they were like, do something that's meaningful to you. Yeah. Yeah. So part of it is my major. I want to do English or communications, but also I really like physics and I really like space travel and I want to write sci-fi in the future. And so I want that background because I want it to be more real, if that makes sense. Because space travel is like that's my jam. Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of what I was thinking would be really cool to be able to write very well, but about science and science fiction and analyze stuff because I always feel like there's when that movie came out with Matthew McConaughey and oh my gosh, what's her name? And it was the one where they like go over the event horizon and then they're like moving space time. Can't think of the name of it. I can see it. Anyway, Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about how that one was that movie that I can't think of the name of was one of the most accurate as far as like the space travel and manipulation and the aging because it was super weird. Like they went down to the surface of the planet and people like aged a whole lot. And then, yeah, I really liked that movie. But I was like, why does he say this is one of the most accurate space travel movies? I want to know more. Like I want that to make sense. Make that make sense. Took an astronomy course, used a lot of online resources. I didn't do great in the course, but I had a great time. Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's some things that you take because it's practical and then there's other things that you take because you're just curious. And I feel like that would be me, but I still want to, like, how else are you gonna understand space travel? Anyway, that's how I like to stress myself out in my free time is by trying to become a physicist. Also, the other reason that I picked physics was because they were saying, like, you should do engineering and stuff like that. And then I was like, well, what's the difference between these things? Like, what would I get the logic, like the practical difference, but what's the difference between like what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis or what you can do on a day-to-day basis? And they really, like, the thing that they don't tell you about college is that they expect you to know that kind of stuff for yourself. Like, I had a nervous breakdown when I was choosing my major because I changed major like three times, I think, maybe, because they don't really communicate very clearly what it is that you're doing, especially, I don't know about university, but in community college, like I went to a orientation and I kept asking when I would get to speak to an advisor. And they were like, oh, you speak to an advisor. I was like, I need to talk to an advisor before I pick my major. And they were like, oh, yeah. And all that happens on orientation day. And I don't think they were listening to what I was actually saying because I went to orientation and we went through this whole thing and they brought us all into a room and they sat us down in these chairs with like little desk chairs. And they were like, pick your major. And I was like, y'all said that I was going to get to talk to an advisor before I picked my major. And they were like, oh, no, you pick your major and then you get assigned an advisor and then you get to talk to your advisor. And I was like, that is not what I was told. I had an entire existential crisis over that because, yeah, I didn't know. And then I followed up with, there was these two majors that were very similar. And I thought that I was going to go into like medical school was the direction I thought I was going. And because there's quite a few nurses and doctors in the family. And I was like, let me ask this question. I was like, so what's the difference between these two majors? And they were like, we were hoping you could tell us that. What? I'm supposed to give you money and you don't even know the difference between these majors? I'm so mad. I dropped marketing minor due to the tedious nature of the coursework on top of English writing courses, so I had a lot of fun electives. That actually does sound really fun. Started out with the goal of getting a degree to have accountability for learning, and I've always had a goal of writing as an income. I had no real plans of using the degree. Still has, I mean, that's valid though. That is valid because it's like, I don't feel like they teach you how to write, but there's so much more that goes into writing books. And it's also difficult. That would be something that would be difficult to teach for professor because not every English professor has written books. So they can teach you the theory of it, but in practicality, it's going to be different. And sometimes wildly different. Yeah. Yeah, like why am I supposed to give you all this money and you don't even know the difference between the majors that you're offering? And it doesn't make sense to me that you would pick your major if you don't understand what your choices are. But it also, at the same time, who at the school really understands what your choices are? Because they don't necessarily, I understand this now, but they don't necessarily get exposure outside their department to be able to say, here's why you should pick engineering over a medical degree, or this is why you would want to pick electrical engineering over physics, or this is why you would pick electrical engineering over mechanical engineering. They can't even tell you that. And I had this experience where a professor got really upset with me because I asked her a question about application and she couldn't answer it. And instead of saying, hey, I've never actually applied what I know about calculus to the real world, she just got upset with me because I imagine that she felt like I was trying to embarrass her, and I wasn't. I learned by understanding what I'm going to do with this information. And she couldn't handle that. Time management and writing within expectations were valuable lessons. Short fiction, creative nonfiction, analyzing literature, all useful tools. Yes, analyzing literature is something that I'm still working on, but it is so important and it is so helpful. Because even the thing about analyzing literature is even if you don't know exactly what you're doing wrong with your work, if you can find something similar and analyze what makes it good or what makes it bad, then you can apply those lessons to your own writing. So it gives you a tool to actively improve whatever your writing style is. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. Especially since I haven't finished and it kind of hangs over you until you do. Yeah. I would think so. And it also made it harder because so I had to take remedial math. I always enjoyed math, but then in high school I had a teacher who was really, really mean and she wasn't a very good math teacher. And like we got into it and it got to the point where I don't know, it felt like she was just failing me on assignments because I didn't learn well from her teaching style. It wasn't necessarily that she was a bad teacher as a whole, but she wasn't a good teacher for me. And I don't think she understood that. I didn't take it personally. I just tried to get a tutor to help me, and she didn't like the way that they were teaching me stuff. Which is ironic because that person has gone on to be a math teacher, and she's fantastic. The person who was tutoring me, excuse me. So I always, after that experience, I thought that I was bad at math. And then I went to college and I started taking remedial math classes. And my first professor was just so cool and so good at explaining stuff, but she had also, her job had required her like to practically use all of her knowledge of math. So when she explained stuff, a lot of times, especially since she's teaching remedial classes and a lot of these are adult students, she would like turn it into money, or she would find a way to reverse it and like mix it up. And then even in class, I would ask questions and she would answer my questions, and she would like see my wheels turning, and she would know when it clicked, because I would just be like, oh, I got it. And then she was like super cool about it. And she would wait for that, because I was like a really good temperature gauge for the class, because if I didn't get it, there was a chance that someone else also didn't get it, but just wasn't as vocal. But her knowledge of the practical applications made it so much easier to learn from her, because she could take the problem outside of the context in which it was given and apply it to the real world and make it make sense. So both of my professors the three professors that I had that experience in their background were much better teachers, just because they had more options for how they explained stuff, versus the professor who just was purely a professor, didn't have any context in the outside world, and she kind of took it personally. I didn't mean it to be, but she and I did not get along. You don't have to. Disclaimer, math isn't easy for a lot of humans. I did okay in high school, but retained very little. I can catch myself up with use, but I just don't use it. Yeah, that's fair. I do think, though, I think there's a lot of people who also have a bad experience with a teacher and think that means that they're bad at something in general. And that's how I felt. And then I got to college, and that's actually the second time I changed my major. So I started like a pre-med basically. And then I changed to something else. I think it was math related. And then from there, I changed again to physics. And I didn't change it until two different math professors were like, you know that you're good at this, right? And I was like, why are you lying? Like, don't just try to make me feel good. And they were like, no, like, you are actually good at this. And I was like, you say so. And just because you're good at something doesn't mean you don't have to try hard at it. Because I feel like with math, that is with everybody, you still have to try hard. Everyone has to try hard with math, except for maybe Einstein. I don't know. I feel like he didn't have to try that hard. Also, oh my gosh, I do this a lot. Especially, but also, I feel like it's a good habit, because that's one reason you're supposed to show your work. And our professor was super nice. My favorite professor, oh my gosh, words. She was super nice, because she was like, please show your work, because then I can give you as much credit as possible. I had stuff where like I messed up the problem and put the wrong answer in because I didn't simplify a fraction. But I know how to simplify fractions. So if I didn't show my work, then my professor couldn't give me credit, because she already knew that I knew how to simplify fractions. And it's honestly the devil's in the details. It's the stupid little mistakes that you make that end up messing up the whole thing. And like an arithmetic issue can make you get a calculus problem wrong. So you're totally right to be asking. I still do. Like, it just makes sense. Ooh, I've never really done accounting. Everything has been like algebra, geometry, trig, and calculus. That's what I really like. But I never took any. I think the next thing I need to take is statics. I think that's what I need to do. So I haven't gotten there yet, but at some point in time. Well, I guess that's not true, because they have a different like business math, I think is what they called it. And that's like the formulas and stuff for accounting. But I didn't take that because I was taking physics. Okay. I got carried away because honestly, I didn't even realize that I was so interested in this topic, but I feel like that was a great conversation. So I think we should probably do another sprint. Let me get a timer. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Another 15. No one has objected to the 15, so let's keep it there. And what else we got? I feel like I was specifically saying how I wanted a timer that had sound, and then none of the ones that I picked had sound. I think this one might. And if it does, I'd be very happy about that. River stones, I think that would be nice. Let's see. Ooh. I will have to check that out. Thank you. That's so cool. Love it. I've never tutored math, but I think I would enjoy it. Actually, that's a lie. I tutored elementary math for a little while. Let's see. All right. We are good to go and starting. Ooh. Hey, get back here. You said you could do that. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yay! All set. So I think this is the first one that has actually had sound, if I'm not mistaken. I took a pause and took the dog out. And what else did I do? Yeah, so I started editing and got just into the next page, but I didn't get a whole lot done this time. That's okay though. Piper was ready to go, so we got that done. Yeah. 4 sprints, 2 hours. 9:53 now. I'm trying to think. Oh, bless you. You okay? You okay? Piper just, I don't know, it sounds like a call for a sneeze, and she's like, hey, pay attention to me. We just went outside. Oh, bless your nose. We just went outside, so I think she's okay. What was I saying? Oh, I did also check social media a little bit because, you know, distractions are fun. And so I was thinking, I think I'll go a little bit longer because I have more to do. And it's still a bit early for brunch. But I'd like to get some more done because I feel like once I go to brunch, more progress is pretty optional. But we definitely need to get the 5 chapters today. And one of my chapters is pretty long. So this chapter has 2 more pages, and then the next chapter is 3 pages, and then chapter 4 is 4 pages, but chapter 4, the full chapter is 4 pages, and then I have this whole, you can see that, big garden to go show. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do a little bit longer this time, maybe 25 minutes, and see how much I can get done if I really focus and don't let myself get distracted. Also, if you have not stretched or taken a break, definitely you might have like a break sprint where you actually get up and stretch or do whatever. So that may be a good option. And yeah, I think let's do that. Let's do a longer sprint. And I think maybe I'll do the long one and then a short one. And then call it, because if I don't accomplish what I need to in that point in time, probably my brain is just like, no. I think that's what I'll do. 25 and then a shorter one, maybe back to 15, and then call it if I'm not feeling it. And I'm just making a thingy for it so that I don't forget what my plan was. So let's do that. Let me find a longer one, and then we'll get started. Oh, this one's from Katia. Let's do that. Oh, there's no audio. Oh, I want one with audio. I think I actually want one with audio this time. Let's see if there's anything else. I think there's a lot of 20-minute ones on here. The 25-minute one has Halloween stuff. At the top. I do not see. There's a 30-minute one. I guess we'll stick with this one that doesn't have the audio. How about that? Here's the screen. Starting. Oh, that one starts for you. 2 and 1. Yay! I realized after, like, there's just 3 minutes left that I totally forgot to put the ticker at the bottom to indicate what we're doing. So we're actually taking a break now. I got, I think, 3 pages done. Ooh, technology. I accidentally clicked something. I don't know what I clicked. Can I make a bookmark here? I have no idea. I did not. Hi, cat. Hey, how are you? I was just this morning. I think my Wi-Fi may be dropping. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I am editing again because I have all this editing to do. I finished 2 chapters this morning. I'm working on the 3rd chapter and I need to get 5 done today. Good morning, good morning. Oh, you just woke up? I'm on it today because I did not do much sleep last night. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up and I'm just going to get at it early because I'm supposed to go to brunch today. And I actually am going to wrap up pretty soon because I need to be done by, when I say pretty soon, in like an hour, I need to be somewhere. So I'm going to sprint a little bit more because I've got 3 more chapters to do. But yeah, the insomnia was happening last night, so I set an alarm and I was like, if I'm not asleep by this point in time, I'm going to get up and just start sprinting no matter what time it is because I cannot. And I ended up falling asleep, but I also set my alarm for pretty early because I was like, if I don't get up early, then I'll end up sleeping all day. And I've got stuff to do, so that's going to be a no for me. And so here I am, still sprinting. But I figure there's a bunch of other people I know are scheduled to sprint today, so I was like, I'm just not gonna. I'll stay until I've got to go, but then later on I'll just jump in someone else's streams because there's a lot happening today. So that's good. But yeah, that's why I'm sprinting because who needs sleep? So since you just woke up, are you just kind of still waking up and just hanging out, or are you trying to get something done today, or you're gonna wait to work later? Well, let me know. Or if you want to jump on here, you're always welcome to do so, but I know it's still early. We've probably got another 45 minutes left in this, I think. Somewhere around there. And then it is brunch for me. But I'm going to try to get as much done as I can in the meantime because I feel like after brunch, my productivity will be severely limited. Oh, plus I have a yoga class that I'm going to at 3 o'clock, so brunch, think of it, and let's see what happens, It'd be like that sometimes. So, yeah. That's where I am. And then I found a couple of things of story issues that I've been looking at. Yay, coffee. That sounds good. That was me this morning. I stumbled into the kitchen. I was like, coffee. No words, just coffee. But so I started this chapter, I believe I was dictating, and I found a few more issues in this chapter than I have in some of the other chapters I've been working on. And that's just, honestly, that's to be expected because I'm still adjusting to the way that I use dictation. So it's like missing punctuation and stuff like that, or a few places where it misunderstood the word. And that's not a big deal. It's really not too confusing. There are also a couple of places where I'm just like, well, what are you talking about? Like I was writing something and it just did not, it made zero of the sense. So I don't know. It'd be like that sometimes, I guess. So yeah, I think I'll probably could get another chapter done this morning. Well, I know I can. This next chapter is actually really short, and then it starts to get into the longer chapters, like I said before. So if I can at least get one more chapter done, that would be amazing. Oh, yay, day off. Yeah, I feel bad about wanting to wake up earlier. Me too. And I need to, because I'm going to start, like, once I start teaching classes, so I'll be teaching some yoga classes, and some of them are going to be on Saturdays. So if I start getting up at 7, so during the week I get up at like 5, and then getting up at 7 on the weekend seems pretty reasonable to me. That's still sleeping in. And then I can like have the entire day. I'll be teaching classes at 10. So then, you know, after when I get back, I can still have plenty of time to do other things and get a lot of writing done. I think that would be really useful. Plus, then I can also take the dog out, get her a good walk in. Like, you know, we can hang out and have some fun. And yeah, I think that'll be good. But yesterday was really nice because I started to take her out on a walk, but my neighbor was walking his dog at the same time, and they really like to play together. Like they saw each other, and they were like, "Oh, it's my friend!" And so we let them run around in the backyard together, and they just do laps. And I had wanted a greyhound, and then things happened, and I was like, I have to get a dog right now. And Piper has some greyhound features, like she's got this slender build and stuff, and with the pointy nose. Not quite greyhound, but like adjacent. But anyway, I think she's perfect, and I think it just worked out so perfectly. And we're a good fit. But she's fast. She's so fast. Like the other dog that she plays with is more of like a stocky build, and she gets so playful because she's 4 and the other dog is 1. She gets so playful, and she knows that she can get away whenever she wants to. So she'll just do like these cutbacks and these like fake outs and stuff, and she's so cute. But she just loves to run. But then when she's done, she just like sits by the gate and starts whining to let me know that she's ready to go home. So we did that yesterday, and I think she's still a little bit tuckered out from that. But yeah, it was really cute. Hi, Jabria. How are you? Yep. I mean, that's mood. And honestly, the only reason, like, I thought that would probably happen, the only reason I even made it up this morning is because of the insomnia. And I actually almost got up last night when I couldn't sleep and set everything up for today. No coffee for you. Yeah. That is mood. But on the weekends too, it's like, yes, it would be nice to get stuff done, but also I feel like sometimes during the week when you don't get enough sleep, the only time you have to catch up for it is on the weekend. So it'd be like that. So that's good. It's good that you got extra sleep, and I hope that you still have enough time today to get all the things done that you were wanting to do. That would be ideal. While y'all are getting your coffee, let's do another sprint. And this time maybe I'll remember to put all the banners up. And let us just see. I think another 15. I've been doing a lot of 15-minute sprints this morning. And yeah, let's stick with that. I'm liking it. I found, ooh, this one seems pretty. It is the dried flowers. I don't know that it has any sound, but most of the ones I've picked this morning haven't had any sound, so we're just not going to worry about that. It is slightly disappointing because I finally figured out how to use StreamYard. I'm good, just took the Popup. Oh, samesies. Got some sunshine. Yay for sunshine. And check out oh, you like to garden? What do you have planted in your garden? Oh, I like gardening too. I don't have a garden right now, but I had like a little quarantine herb garden. And then before that, I used to have like actual food and all the things. That's so cool. Spent the last 5 years not getting enough sleep. Such a mood. Such a mood. So, yes, you just take all the sleep that you can get. You deserve it. You definitely deserve it. Let's see. Dried cloud. Oh, yeah, we were sharing the screen. Share audio. Look at me being all fancy. Okay. We will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, I was so close to finishing that chapter. I literally have 2 paragraphs, but it's fine. It is fine. Did y'all get your coffee? How's your coffee treating you? Let me know. I think I'm going to do one more sprint after this, and it'll be a short one because, like I said, I'm almost finished. So I'll probably start chapter 4, which is actually quite good because this is 3 hours, and I've done 3 chapters, so I'm happy with that overall. I see Jabria got a bunch of containers from Dad and Uncle. Both are big gardeners, so this year I'm doing tomatoes, cucumbers, and bell peppers. Got a small strawberry plant. Oh, that's so nice! If you have a chance to do some basil, if you like basil, with the tomatoes, that would be good. And maybe some dill for the cucumbers, like cucumber sandwiches with a little bit of dill. Just a thought. It sounds really good though. I love that. And strawberry plant in the fall will be really nice as well. I love me some fresh strawberries, just a little bit of sugar. That sounds amazing. Cat got my coffee. Loading up my uploading. I was like, this makes I'm confused. Don't mind me. Yay for getting started. I think, like I said, I'll do one more sprint, and then I'm going to get ready for brunch. I'm going to do brunch. But definitely, I'm so glad you both hopped on, because this is like helping me get that last little push, you know? That's exciting. And of course, I'm glad that y'all are up and starting to get ready for the day and productive and all that jazz. That's exciting. I think also, like, what kind of coffee are you doing? Is it just regular drip coffee? Is there a specific brand or flavor that you like? Or do you make fancy coffee? I don't know. I'm all about coffee. I used to work as a barista for a little while. I worked in a coffee truck, and it was super fun. It was very interesting. Like, it was just an interesting job in general. My boss was super chill, and I got to be like my full snarky and sarcastic self at work, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, I'm still kind of, I'm actually still that way, but like just, you know, office. What is an office? Office professional snark, you know? Like, it's all in-house, like in the jazz, versus just being like general snark. I feel like everyone likes their coffee with a side of bitterness. Excuse me. Just me? That's what I get for being snarky. So really 100% cream coffee with sugar and vanilla. That sounds good. I've got 2 different. Oh, dog knows. I've got 2 different creamers that I'm about right now. I have one that's French vanilla, which I use sometimes. I'm almost done with that one, and then I have a sweet cream one that I really like. I usually just use creamer because it does have sweetener in it, and that way I'm not adding sugar, because when I do add sugar, I end up making more of like a frappuccino base blend. Like, if I just poured it over ice and blended it, it would still be sweet enough, which is not like great, but I mean, it tastes good, so, you know, what are you gonna do? Ooh, that is so cool. Are you gonna stream that? Because I would like to see that. I think that'd be really cool. I realized the other day when I was trying to build a Victorian style house in The Sims for actually what I'm editing right now, I realized how incredibly difficult it is, and that it is not my strong suit, and that may be why most of the houses I build on The Sims are modern with really clean lines, because the Victorian style, it just has lines all over the place and a lot of corners and angles and just like all this fanciness. And also putting a roof on that in The Sims is so insanely hard. Yeah, this, like, if I'm using sugar, I put a ridiculous amount of sugar. But it tastes so good. So good. I know, I'm a fan, I think. I'm excited about these coffees. Yeah, but yeah, I would like, if you're building on Sims and you're going to stream it, I don't, oh, that's right, you're streaming on Twitch, but are you going to post it to YouTube after? Because I would like to see that. And also, what style houses are you building? What style houses do you build? Do you build houses for other people? The girl has questions. Not streaming, but I've been recording it after. I'm doing a series of videos on the things I use to help with my creativity, such as Sims. I love that. That's awesome. Well, if you build houses for other people or you take requests, let me know, because I'm struggling. But yeah, I'm excited about this video. Let's see it. No actual writing, still reworking my outline. I've also pulled up Sims to create visuals with my characters. Love it. Daria, do you use Artbreeder as well? I know Kat and I both use Artbreeder, but I don't know if you've used it before. I also, reworking an outline. I've never actually done that. I usually, I'll tweak my outline as I go, but I've also made enough changes in this read through that I'm thinking it would be a good idea for me to like do some of that. Bobby, no, please no. He's like looking at me like he's contemplating jumping on my face. So when you rework your outline, what exactly does that look like for you? And do you have a video about this? Because I have questions. I'm just now making friends with outlines, so I understand, and I'm very efficient with creating an initial outline, but as far as taking another outline and then reworking it from there, I've never done that. So I would love to hear more about how you do that. Oh, yeah, yes. Please let me know when you do, because I have a video where I have like 16 links, and Artbreeder is one of the links. And I would love to go back and link your video on how to use Artbreeder, because I think that would be really helpful. Woo! Careful, buddy. Sorry, he just hit the table and almost landed on the dog. And the dog was like, oh, please help. What have I done to deserve this? Yeah, let me know, because I'll link your Artbreeder video in mine, because I think that would be really helpful. I know I still, like, I've made a lot of stuff with Artbreeder, and it's all on my WorldAnvil, but I could definitely use more information about it. Also, yes, I do like to build entire families, but also the limit of 8 Sims per like actual family is a little complicated. Let's see. Haven't heard of Artbreeder before, but I'm curious. And as for outlining, I'm also still making friends with it. Yeah, found a couple of potential plot holes as I was writing yesterday. Same days. So Artbreeder is a website, and you just go in and you can pick from all the people that have already been uploaded, or you can upload more like faces and stuff. And there's like, you can do more than faces, but I primarily just use the one with faces. And then you can basically mix those pictures, and you can do like a family tree with it. So you could create the parents and then be like, okay, these 2 parents generate children, and then choose their gender. But it also, like, it lets you create gender on a scale, not just like male or female, like a lot of other things, which is really nice and very helpful, because you can make characters more masculine or feminine, however they are. And that's really helpful. So I have a link to that in my 16 links for writers video, if you want to check that out. And it's in the thing where I don't think I timestamped it. I probably should have timestamped it. Maybe I'll go back and do that at some point in time. But Art Reader is really helpful for that, to visualize your characters. And of course, Cat Leo is going to create the video on how to use it, which is good because she's much better at using it than I am. I was just like, oh, this is a helpful resource. And so I'll go back to that video and I'll just like be like, oh, here are some of the links to stuff that I like to use. And it's really helpful for that. I'm doing the same thing. So I'm actually doing a read through right now. It sounds like you are reading through, or are you editing and reading through, or are you just reading through? Because I'm just reading through right now and making notes of all the plot holes and the stuff that's not working correctly. And this is a huge move. I want to clean up those before I continue writing. Yes, same page. Well, we need to hang out, Bria, because you and I are on the same mission. Mods. Okay, so I don't know that my computer is really able to handle mods, but I think I'm going to get a new computer, and I'm also going to get a, at the same time that I get my cat cam, because I think Dobby needs a whole camera to himself. I feel like we've discovered this. So between that and the filing cabinet, hopefully we'll have somewhere for Dobby to land, and it won't be on my computer anymore. But we'll see, you know, it depends on when he's more comfortable. But someone suggested that maybe do a heating pad. So if I can like feed the heating pad up through the bottom and put it in the bed so he can't get to the cord, I was thinking about this a bit more. I think that would be really helpful. But once I do that, let me know what mods you use, Kat, because that sounds like a good idea. There's more than character creation. Like NaNoWriMo, use it for characters. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't played with some of the other stuff, but they do have a lot of features on Art Reader. And if you are creating family trees of any kind, or you want pictures that you can add, like even, I think for Wattpad, they have a spot where you can add pictures of the character. Or if you use WorldAnvil, it creates pictures that you can use for both of those. Yeah, definitely check it out. And let me know what you think, if you enjoy it, if you find it helpful. I know I can't stop him with this question. Grow up and run this business. But yes. Art Reader is life-changing because it can be really difficult to visualize characters if you don't have a way to actually create them. We got a lot more chatting in than I thought we were going to, so maybe this last sprint will just be 10 minutes, if that's okay. Let me know in the comments if you have an objection. I think 10 minutes will get me to a good stopping point and keep me on schedule for brunch, because brunch is priority. We're going to sit outside by the pool and order out and have some drinks. So, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. 13. Oh my gosh, this look at, these are all the notes that I'm making on this last little bit here. Just so many notes. It's kind of a trash can fire, but we love it. I think this is 7. I may have skipped one. I don't know. This one will just be 10 minutes though. And let me find us a timer. I think I saw a lot of 10-minute timers on here, so that should be okay. Yeah. I don't think any of these have sound either. But I like this one. Skull timer. You know, I just realized I've been using all of these timers and I haven't liked any of them, and I should probably I should do a better job of making sure that I like the timers that I use. Not only because it'll make them easier to find in the future, but just to show some love to the creator, because that's not a talent that I have. Share audio. Let's rewind. And we will begin sprinting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so that is all she wrote. I got a call there at the end, but I still finished the chapter and got another page done. So, Kat, I am looking forward to more timers. And if you like to make them with sound, I really do enjoy some with sound. Also, if you want to make a whale timer, I know I've been talking about whales a lot. I just really have been vibing with whale timers. So, if it is in your heart to make such timer as that, I would absolutely love it. I think this is all for me because I am going to brunch. But I want to thank you for hanging out with me. Everybody who's been in and out throughout the stream, I appreciate it. It's helped me get a lot done. I've got, let me see how many pages I need left today. What's this one? 13 pages left to do today. So at some point in time, hopefully I will be able to squeeze that in depending on how brunch goes. Probably after my yoga class, it'll probably be this evening that I'll be back on. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay. Yeah, I have no, like I said, I have no idea where to start. So I would be tickled pink. Do it and let me know. And I will add it to my playlist because I have a playlist for sprints and timers, but I haven't done a whole lot with it, like I said, because I haven't made any timers. So yeah, I would absolutely love that. But I'm going to go ahead and go so that I can get ready and make it to this brunch by the pool. It's going to be great. And I will see you all next time. Bye.